speaker, Björn also, so a long-time contributor to the Exist debate, and we'll be talking about harvesting metadata.
Okay. Happy to see so many of you coming back year after year. This is something which I've been working on quite low intensively for some years now, so it's a lot of stuff in here, but some of you might have heard of this or not, but I need to say this since my institute is paying this trip. So, well, why would you want to standardize metadata? Because much of it currently is in a very sad state. It's very low visibility. Can't really find it if you want to. You have a low recall. The descriptions are, of course, way too many specific licenses on the actual resources and so on. So what do you want to do? Yes, you want to enable discoverability, support aggregation, should of course be open, should use open standards, and of course, since we are here, should preferably also be governed by an XML schema, so that you can verify it. So one of the big harvesting tools is the OIA PMH, and it's a bit awkward to say those together, but I hope I say it right every time. So it stands for Open Archives Initiative, Protocol for Metadata Harvesting, and there were already some implementations in Exist or for Exist doing this, but none of them are as flexible as the ones we'll soon release as practice. So there is some terminology. You have items and sets. Resources are the main subject, but to meet the criteria we had in the previous slide about how to actually find them, we need to have the metadata describing them in a good way. And you have some kind of versioning because you can use dates to say, okay, I want to have what's new since this granularity of time. So if you only have a granularity of days, then you don't need to ask, do we have anything new since the preceding 2 hours or whatever. I mean, you don't need to ask it more than once a day at least, if there is anything new. And you can simply list here the metadata formats that you provide, and this will be showing up in the list thing. And this is of course required, the core one. You also have a connected schema and the namespace for that, so that you can always validate your results before you send it out. And so on. And you can see you just can add another one for the client format, CMDI, and so on. And there are some other optional things. And when you have this, you can also decide if you are going to have some kind of persistency so that you keep track of when this is querying in. So you also have to decide which user should this writing be running under and so on. But this is it. And then if you add another repository, you just make sure that it can provide the Dublin core required data. And in this case, it's social sciences standard format DDI, Data Documentation Initiative. And you can see there are a lot of namespaces that you have and so on, but in this case, you just need to give it also where do you have the data, so you have to this one. And you just iterate over those. And you can return the DC. And here you see that the quality is not always as good, because you should always provide a date for when this is changed or so that you can safely assume that this is not just another copy you have found, but this is so. If there is no date, we just take the last modification date of the resource in the database. This is most certainly not true in the majority of cases, but still at least an indication that you can use if you want to procure your data which you harvest. So, in conjunction with this, as you've seen last year, or was it the year before? Maybe. I also added this Nifty module, CQL parser, and CQL stands for contextual query language. And this can very easily be used. For instance, we will also release an open search package so that you can just plug it in and use it according to the open search specification. And this is one of the main components there. And as you can see, you get a very nice XML representation based on this query language. So I'm thinking of maybe we should move this, because I think most people want to do the error checking. So it should probably be a function with it, but I just wanted to show you that, okay, we have this new XP3 try catch function there. So there are some terms here that you can deduce from the
put up a picture of you.
Yeah. If it's an open license.